Hello everybody, my name is Andrea MACCHIA, the president of YOCOCU organization. YOCOCU is the Youth in the Conservation of Cultural Heritage organization. Many of you here know the successful collaboration and experience between YOCOCU and MIRAS organization. From the first years, I remember Farid, he was young, why I still him, and Farid also. We are speaking about the 2014 when we organized in AXU the meeting YOCOCU, the YOCOCU conference, but also the course about the first aid applied to the conservation of the ceramic materials. YOCOCU organization start by the AXU conference. For this reason, the logo of YOCOCU has the Azerbaijan colors. The YOCOCU and MIRAS collaboration is based on the concept that the culture occurs when multiple elements are in the same place. And the preservation of cultural heritage become real exchange, real identity, real experience when you have several professionals together that they have the voluntary to share their skill, their passion, their ability, their life. This exchange in our activity in MIRAS and YOCOCU activities become course, conference, I remember this photo or this picture in Verona with the friends Mac, and the YOCOCU and MIRAS activities had as a location in several times Hagsu. In this archaeological site we realize awareness, education, professional experience, scientific research. We realize also project, found request, many activity. But the importance of this international collaboration in the cultural heritage and the archaeological research was to define a common engine to develop the Azerbaijan skills on the cultural heritage conservation. So we used international skill and we applied this skill directly on the Azerbaijan needs and in collaboration with Azerbaijan professionals. The YOCOCU and the MIRAS initiative have always been aimed at the possibility to increase knowledge and promoting the interaction of professionals speaking on innovative topics. Remember the project on the conservation of the Dursum mausoleum before and during the restoration and at the end of the restoration. These are the people involved in this project. Now everyone attention is on the green, because we need to have respect of our cultural heritage, but also of our earth and our environment, our planet. Today, in the eyes of the innovation, YOCOCU wanted to present, using a new our collaborators, Eleonora speech introduced to you to the green concept applied to the cleaning treatments. The cleaning treatment is the more or difficult treatment on the cultural heritage because it is non-reversible. But you can apply the cleaning concept and the green concept given you by Eleonora and the methods that Eleonora will introduce to all the treatments, and you can apply this concept also in your life. So thanks. I hope to see you soon in Azerbaijan, in Aksu, and please, Eleonora, introduce the green concept.
Thank you, Andrea. Now I will introduce you to this new concept, this green concept for the cultural heritage. So, organic solvents are one of the most used instruments for the cleaning of artworks, but none of them is free from risks related to the environment and also for the health. In fact, solvents are frequently used, for example, for testing polarity of certain materials to dissolve, like in the Cremonesi test that uses mixtures of Lie that are petroleum ethers and also acetone and ethanol. So, for example, if we take the material safety data sheet for the Lie, we can see that it is really harmful for the health because it is lethal also even by inhalation, and is also toxic for the aquatic life. And so in the last years there is a growing sensitivity in the respect for the environment and health and safety topics, and that need to be pursued by finding safer alternatives. The effects on human health depend on the type of exposure that can occur through inhalation, ingestion, and through the contact with the skin. The major risk, of course, is the inhalation, that depends strongly on the volatility and the boiling point of the solvent, and it is especially relevant while working in closed areas. So for the safeness in work areas, limit values for chemicals concentration in the air are established, and the most important limit is the threshold limit value in time-weighted average. That is the limit below which the workers can be exposed for 8 hours a day and 40 hours a week through their entire working life, without any problems for the state of their health. And other limits are the threshold limit value of sealing, that is the maximum concentration that must never be exceeded in any occasion, and the threshold limit value for short time exposure limit, that is the concentration to which workers can be exposed over a period of 15 minutes that must never be exceeded during the working day. Organic solvents can also have an environmental impact targeting different elements, like in the air pollution can deplete the high ozone layers, and moreover pollutant can increase the atmospheric ozone at a soil level through photochemical oxidation, the so-called summer smog, and also the use of solvents is a potential lead to a potential risk for soil and water contamination due to their acid-base characteristics, and that lead to some reactions. And the risk phrases are assigned based on how much the solvent is toxic for the aquatic species, their tendency to degrade naturally, and their ability to bioaccumulate, that are measured by different parameters. Based on these issues, in the late 90s, the concept of green chemistry was developed. It was first defined by Anastas and Werner as the design of chemical products and processes that reduce or eliminate the generation of hazardous substances. And along with this definition came the 12 principles that defined the pursuit and the aim, and helps to clarify which requirements a green solvent must have. Mainly, these requirements provide the reduction of waste, hazards, and energy costs, and also a green product must came from renewable feedstocks and must be biodegradable. So, problem is that it's difficult to find a product that has all these requirements, and it is easy to find in the market solvents that are considered green because of their origin, but not for the health. An example is the ethyl lactate, that many times is cited as a green solvent, since it is derived from lactic acid and it is biodegradable, but its risks includes corrosive action and irritation. And this example shows us also that the greenness of a product is relative. So we must speak about greener solvents than another, because every product has some degree of toxicity or is not completely sustainable. This transition to green is regulated in Europe by the REACH legislation of 2006, and before this law there weren't any information about the risks of chemicals. So one of the aims of this regulation is to protect the health and the environment by gathering accurate information on some product before getting into the market, and then this product can be registered on a database of the European Chemical Agency, when it can be evaluated and eventually authorized or restricted. And when a chemical is restricted, it is signed in a list that is called the Substances of Very High Concern list, and this allows the pursuing of the second aim of this legislation, that is the substitution of the most dangerous chemicals. So the substances on the list are restricted or banned from the market until safer alternatives will be discovered. So it is important also to stress that this list is upgraded every 6 months, and so a product that is considered green now may not be green anymore 6 months later. The cultural heritage field must follow these principles and this regulation too, and a product that is emerging in the market and follows these principles and is also enjoying success for the removal of aged paints is the Green Varnish Rescue. It is a product sold by Imar, and is a mixture of acetals whose potential lies in the low environmental impact, the low toxicity due to the low vapor pressure and the high boiling point, and has also efficacy and efficiency comparable to common restoration solvents for the removal of natural and synthetic aged paints. Acetals are compounds obtained by reaction of aldehydes and alcohols that have an extremely low reactivity, and most importantly have a low toxicity, and they are sustainable. They are also already used in a wide variety of fields like paints and graffiti removers, plasticizers, and so on. An example is the propyla, that is a good replacement for methyl tetrahydrofuran, that is way more toxic than the relative acetal. So now I want to show you some application and results and beautiful results of this product. And this is an application of on a 18th century painting. There was an aged natural varnish, and we can see that the result is comparable to the methylethyl ketone that is way more toxic than the green varnish rescue. And also, this is an application compared with the methylethyl ketone on a natural varnish, when you can see that the difference is you can spot the difference between the two. And this is also an 18th century removal of a natural varnish with completely with green varnish rescue. And later, this is a more recent painting where the varnish was a PVA varnish, and we can see the results compared to that of the ethanol that left some residues of varnishes. With this, I have finished, and I would like to thank you for your kind attention. And for any questions, you can write us at info@yococu.com. Thank you.